Hi, Sah. It's good to see you.
Good to see you too.
Yeah, now you went into the lockdown really quite recovering from an illness.
Right.
Tell us a little bit about that.
So I collapsed due to a major stroke at the end of the 2018, and we haven't been able to narrow down any reasons for the stroke until recently. So my doctor has written me off the work so I could recover properly, because they couldn't find out the proper cause of it.
And before your illness, you were a tailor and you used your talent really to product design. And how have you used those skills during the corona crisis?
So I've been working on just getting my fine motor skills back mostly, and I thought I want to be able to provide something, and I felt like I've not really got much other than my skills and possibly my design skills as well. So I thought maybe if I designed a few nice masks, that's actually needed, because there is such shortage of personal protection equipment. So I started with just one mask, and the response was really good. So I posted them out just as a feeler on my personal Facebook and Instagram, and they had done really well for the first couple rounds, and now it's on a bit of a decline, but I'm glad I was actually able to provide something for people who needed PPE, because buying disposable masks it just seems a little bit more wasteful to me.
Yes, it is more sustainable.
Yes.
And that's very much part of the way you did your fashion, isn't it? Can you say something about that, what you did?
So I am a sustainable slow fashion designer. So it's not fast tracked, and I mostly use organic fabrics, and I design everything in-house, make every pattern in-house. And I dyed fabric with discarded flowers, so I will extract the pigments from them and dye with them. And I feel that people need to sort of have a little more concerns about the clothing, because at the moment people think anyone who can sew or design or anything like that, it's not a labor of love. It feels like everyone kind of wants really good quality stuff for Chinese prices, for example, because the labor is much cheaper.
Yeah, so you are doing the slow fashion, what they call the sustainable, more ecological friendly design and way of doing fashion. Yeah. Now, in this crisis, has any particular scripture been speaking to you?
Yes, it's in Psalms. I mean, it's always, the entire time I've been Christian, Psalms is literally always my go-to if something needs to happen. It's full of real feelings.
Absolutely.
So here is Psalm 62, Psalm of David. And there are a few bits of this song or a verse. Most of the Psalms is a song, aren't they? So I presume this was a song as well. The bit that most stuck out onto me was that put no trust in extortion, set no vain hopes on robbery. If riches increase, set not your heart on them. And from a non-Christian point of view, this could be something that you've really never thought about. Because people go into extortion in order to push themselves above other people, but as community we need to actually stay on the similar level and same level as where it can do. And I love how he's reliant on God becomes actually stronger. And sometimes as people, with our free will, we feel like we can do this. I've got this. God's given me free will, right? So I can do this. But we still are his children and therefore need his help.
And that's really beautifully lived out actually in this life story which you have been telling us. It's a
Yes.
real example of how this psalm became reality to you. So thank you so much for just giving us this insight in your life.
Thank you for having me.